for ZORA here because as you can see, we are up 29% in the last 24 hours here on ZORA. So that's pretty good. And we're now working our way up to 20 cents. And I was talking about these levels before, talking about the 10-cent level as well. But you can see we hit the support down here, which is at about 8 cents. We're going to go ahead and get into this. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor, none of this financial advice, but let's talk about this. So the previous pump for ZORA, you can see when it pulled back by 50%. So it pulled back from 10 cents all the way down here to 5 cents. It pulled back a whole 50%, and then it started to rally all over again. So when it started to rally, let's look at the gains that we've seen after that initial rally. So those gains right there, after it had dropped 50 cents, it just now went up 100, let's say 178 to 180%. And that was in a pretty short period of time. That was inside of, let's see, we have 8 days here. So inside of 8 days, ZORA went right back up by 178% in 8 days. So that's pretty impressive. And now what we're seeing here when we came back from our August 10th, August 11th highs, you can see we pulled all the way back here to 8 cents, which is a 44% drop. So I'm just kind of doing these numbers according to our previous, all the previous pumps and the previous pullbacks. So technically, if we were going to follow the previous pullbacks to a T, we would go down by 50% and we would go halfway down towards that Fibonacci. But it doesn't have to do it to a T, right? We went down 44% and that's good enough. Why I'm saying this is because what about on the way up? Are we going to do 178% again on the way up or slightly lower? Well, the chances are it's going to be slightly lower. And that slightly lower price is the same reason why we had a slightly lower drop. First, we dropped 50%, and then we dropped 44%. Well, the price was higher, so it's going to be a little bit harder for it to drop even more now. So what we're looking at now is 145% rise from the bottom, right? And that's from 8 cents, not necessarily the bottom, but from the bottom of the last pullback. So that's an 8 cent buy-in level. So getting in at 8 cents and then getting out at 20 cents gives you about 145% inside of gains. So anyone who just now bought in right before the previous 30% pump, we just now seen when we get to 100 or no, when we get to 20 cents, those people are going to see 145% inside of gains. So right here is where we just now hopped in at, right? And now we are at 10 cents already. This is probably going to run up until 20 cents. We might have some pullbacks on the way, obviously, but it might not be the same as we've seen here, like an 8-day rise, right? It might not be an 8-day rise. It all depends on how the movement of Bitcoin in the overall market is. This was at a perfect strategic time when Bitcoin was actually doing good numbers from August 7th. Well, really back here from August 2nd to August 11th. So if we come over here and look at Bitcoin from those periods of August 2nd down here to August 11th, that was the perfect time for ZORA to make its pump. And that's exactly what it did. It did not waste any time. Now, if we are to do the same thing, we would need to see the same type of movement upwards. We can't have any nasty pullbacks. We just came off an oversold area here on Bitcoin. Now you can see the reversal to the upside. It's currently taking place. So hopefully it can continue to go, but we are seeing, we are looking a little bit bullish here on the MACD. We could probably continue that, have a continuation of that pump. And the percent R trend exhaustion here for Bitcoin as well is still moving towards the upside. So we should be good there with that. The 30-minute chart looks like it's doing a reversal back to the bulls. So a reversal to the upside is kind of what it looks like with the 30-minute chart. It could always do an invalidation of that, and it could always continue to go down. You know, you just have to pay attention to that type of stuff. And also coming off of this overbought area on the 15-minute chart for Bitcoin. So we have that as well. We always got to watch Bitcoin when we're watching where we're going. Now, just came off this overbought area. We're still heavily overbought here on Bitcoin. we've been overbought since April on Bitcoin when it comes to the daily chart. So at this moment, it does look like it wants to revive again and go back up. So there is a possibility, like I said before, that we could end up seeing ZORA going up to 20 cents. And again, ZORA goes up to 20 cents. We are looking very, very good then if that happens. Because let me go over here and show you. Like if ZORA goes up, again, if it goes up to 20 cents, then from the lows of yesterday to the high of 20 cents, that is going to bring you about 145% again. And that is a very good amount of gains off of that. So that's what we're looking at right now with ZORA. Looking at the ZORA charts, everything follows Bitcoin. We know that everything follows Bitcoin. So anyways, we just came off of the overbought area here on the 30-minute chart, just kind of like how Bitcoin was. And now we're kind of recovering. It looks like it does have some room for recovery. Even on the MACD, it looks like it's switching to the green charts, the green candlestick. So buying momentum should be coming in on the MACD as well. We're looking at the 1 hour chart now on ZORA. Definitely overbought, way overbought here. Kind of the same thing with Bitcoin. And it could switch to some selling pressure here when you're looking at the MACD. Obviously, this is a short term. This is the 1 hour chart. So like I mentioned before, there's still that possibility that we pull down to 6 cents. And the reason why I mentioned the 6 cent level is because then that would be a 50% drop from the previous high, just kind of like how we just now had. We're looking at that 50% drop back here, right? This is the 50% drop I was talking about back here. And then we also have this area right here where we only dropped 44%. We haven't necessarily dropped 50% yet. So if we were to follow it to a T, again, it would come back a little bit more and it would probably end up being a little bit around 7 cents to 6 cents for that 50% drop. So it kind of matters a little bit, but not too much. But it still matters. We do still follow patterns sometimes in the crypto market. So there's a possibility that we do pull back. The 1 hour chart is showing us that it wants to pull back. So that's the only reason why I mentioned the possible pullback, because of the 1 hour chart. Now, that's just one chart and it's a short term chart. When we look at the 4 hour, which is a little bit longer term here for ZORA, we can see that we're actually crossing here on the 4 hour, coming off of an oversold area for the 4 hour. And we're actually starting to see that we're heading towards the top again here with ZORA on the 4 hour. The MACD is also looking very bullish as well for the 4 hour chart. And then we can look at the daily chart, but there's not yet enough information because ZORA hasn't been out for long enough. But the MACD does look like it's trying to switch to that buying pressure. So again, it does look like in the longer term, ZORA is bullish in the longer term. But then when you kind of bring it back to the shorter term, looking at the 1 hour chart, it looks like there could be a small pullback coming in for ZORA. So you would definitely want to pay attention to that. But anyways, enough of the price action and technical analysis and stuff. Looking at the overall sentiment of ZORA, we've been having a lot of good stuff coming out. So people are pretty bullish on it in general. We have top traded creator coins here. So we got these top fives. We have another person who's just now broken into the top 50. We have the ZORA TV that they have live now. So they're doing a lot of stuff at ZORA, which is causing the community to like bubble up around it and continue to buy more and more and more. So this is only going to go up. At this point, ZORA has solidified itself as one of the largest base coins. So we're probably going to end up seeing more coming from ZORA inside the near future here. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for you all today. Let me know what you guys think about this. Do you think ZORA is going to be that next 100x altcoin? Because just off of the bottom right now, it's 1200% up.